قال الله هو Yehovah Hashem Yoshai Bashem Kakudash the banners for the apostles and elders, our teachers and elders in this truth. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. To you all I say shalom, shalom. You know, another day, another prophecy, you know what I mean, keeps unfolding before our eyes. You know what I mean? This could just be the last Passover. Abaratiza, you know? Abaratiza, we tired physically, mentally, you know, we tired. So it's a real nice thing when we see little articles like this, so those bring joy to his spirit. Now, a tutor or somebody outside looking in going to know how this could possibly bring joy to his spirit is because we have no part in this kingdom. We have no what's this word? What's your on to use? But we have no section here for lack of better words. We have no joy in this world, this rulership. We do seek nothing in this world. You know, sincerely we do seek anything in this world. Right? Yes, we have life to live. Yes, we have a job to well, you know what I mean, we gotta be working to maintain my life. You know? Scripture says what? Sweat of your body, strength of your back, shalom and eat bread. Right? So at the end of the day we had to work. But that's a given. You know what I mean? But it's a household children to see about. You know? I believe it have a precept. That's roughly paraphrasing. It's like if it ran. You know what I mean? It's an impromptu video, so that's rolling these spirit and you know what I mean? Right? It's more if you neglect is your household was an infidel or something like that. It's roughly paraphrasing. And the brothers might know the precept I'm talking about. Right? Yeah. So all these things, so we had to work. You know what I mean? We had to get debit cards, credit cards, whatever to make ends meet. So it's fine. Right? But you know what I mean? This system, we have no desire to be here. We have no true desire to be here. It's a lovely thing seeing your children grow up, you know? But we know it could be an even lovely, I think, a more beautiful thing to see them grow in the kingdom. You know, to see them grow up right in the way they should grow. You know, to see society the way it's supposed to be. Righteous. Right? So I'm gonna read this little article and get into the video. So I can't put it around, but hey, this is Ephesians, let's say what control the spirit. Right? It says the break in Iran officially threatens to close the Bab al Mandeb Strait if the situation gets out of control, per Reuters. Details include 1. Iran says the entire region and Saudi Arabia will fall into darkness if the US attacks Iran's power plants. The IRGC, the Iran military, I believe, right, said it would not hesitate to retaliate if the US targets civilian facilities like they did with the school, which was being used as a shelter, right? It says the Bab al Mandeb Strait currently accounts for 12% of global seaborne trade. The Bab al Mandeb is shut, we believe, $150 a barrel oil is a possibility. You say, oh, if the Bab al Mandeb is shut, right? Well, look at that. It says Trump's deadline is now less than 10 hours away. Trump can even have a deadline. And, them know what time with you. Them know what time with you. You understand? It's just another reiteration or another iteration of the week saying, hey, we strong, you know, we no weak no more. Right? We no weak no more. All the allies still against say he want to go to with Canada, with Greenland, so need to up in arms against him. Well, no, I wouldn't say up in arms, but you know what I mean? They no longer allied with him to say, you know what I mean? They're not on good footing, I'll put it like that. Nothing is really set in stone, but they're not really on good footing. You know, so hey, you know, we got some precepts, huh? Now what does go? First I think I want to go to the let's be at 1 second. I think the second Ezra's is 15 or 6. What did I just click? No, it's not this. There is it. Second Esdras 15 and 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and a man shall be afraid. The city will be troubled. The city is where? So like yeah, the city is where the majority of commerce does take place in the city. You know what I mean? Because of the pride. Because they wouldn't say, yeah, what's going on? All right. We concede defeat. You know what I mean? We was wrong, XYZ, XYZ, and we know Edom. Edom is a proud people. They get high on pride, so we know the pride going to make them falter. We know this, you know what I mean? Even if it does de-escalate the situation by peace treaty or peace talks, you know you go come and shove them in the end and they go retaliate. You know? They have been through too much with them in the Middle East to even consider not keeping an eye on them, even if it comes to that, even if it comes to peace talks. At least one would think so, you know. So the houses shall be troubled, shall be destroyed, right? What is called the economy. Back in the economy was what? Our economist is known as a housekeeper, right? That is a reference to I believe it's in Ecclesiastes where it say the keepers of the house shall mourn, right? That go back to what the economist. So the houses shall be destroyed. What's going on with the economy now? You know? What exactly going on with the economies of the world? All over social media you see now the world economy could collapse. You know what I mean? It hinging on the outcome of this war, the price of oil and so on and so forth. You know? And men shall be afraid. Of course men will be afraid. Men who can I'm alright for let me just think of it like this. A man who working in your life, he really know the truth, you know what I mean? He just working, he investing, he do anything, raising the family in this kingdom at 2/3 for lack of a child. Right now he watching everything he work hard for dissipate in front of your eyes, yo. He spend his life toiling, laboring, slaving for nothing. Tell me that is not a scary thing. To me, you wouldn't be afraid. Fuck, men would be afraid, bang. You know what I mean? You would be afraid. You know, there's something you put your time, effort, and energy into. And that is what the scripture say what? Or the scripture say this. Uh, Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor dust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. That is why I opened the video in that aspect iterating when I was iterating. You know, just to say, well, like, we don't have nothing here. You know what I mean? If the will of the Father is that we lose our lives for this ministry, we know we can't carry nothing. Like, we know and understand and accept that that is part of counting the cost of doing this work, right? We don't have no continuing city here that Hebrews 13, I think. 13, 14 or something like that, 14, 13 or something. So, right? We don't have no continuing cities here. Oh, no, it's not 13, 14. 13 and 14. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. You understand? It says, by him therefore let us offer the sacrifice of praise to power continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name, by right? Giving thanks to his name always. You know? Because everything that we have is what is in reverence to him. Everything as a man of the truth, as a man of the Lord. Everything you have, you can find a way to use it for the ministry. You get a guy, you could carry brothers here, there, so you could do the work, so you could do the work, so you know, could assist brothers. You know what I mean? Everything is for the brother of the ministry. The old man does think. You know what I mean? That's how it does go. In other words, by serving with brethren, we also is what serving the Lord. Kawhi, what you always try to say, love one another even as you love the church. You understand that is a commandment. Scripture always say, that's roughly paraphrasing it, right? Or you could love the Lord you can't see, but hate the brother you could see. So if you still love your brother, that is part of your ministry, that is part of the cost of being in this ministry. You know? And that is why we have nothing here. We have nothing here. Whatever the Lord allow us to have, we accept. Whatever He take away from us, we had to accept same way. Because hey, all this is going to melt away. All this is going to be taken away, stripped away, right? For the kingdom to come. The kingdom to come is going to be everlasting, glorious. This kingdom, hey, Trump and them could do what they want, by. They could blatantly, basically do what they want, and there's no problem. The Lord have it that way, and hey, we accept it regardless. We know that hey, time to come with the MOTB, which states already implementing. In case all they didn't know, Trump signed an executive order. You know what I mean? So, you know what going on with the big dog? You know what I mean? Another step moving forward into what? Into the new world order. You know what I mean? Our temptation is almost upon us. You know? Apparatus and man was keeping the patience of the Lord, you know. Cause we go see. We go see where words meet actions, you know. Right? So yeah, so I go end the video here. You know what I mean? Because I believe the article was self-explanatory. You know? This kingdom is going to waste away. Either way, the kingdom is going to waste away. That's the message I want to portray in this video. Either way, this kingdom is doomed, right? If you de-escalate the situation, we obviously know Esau cannot be trusted. The scripture says, never trust thine enemy. Esau cannot be going to look for a loophole to shaft Iranians. And they're going to retaliate. If it's not de-escalated, they're going to retaliate. So either way, hey, either way, they do. Right? So I hope it was edifying to the Archeum, of which back food for thought to the Archeum. Through spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yoshai, Bashem, Rakar, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.